me close and hold me back. This magic still you caress. This is heavy on rose.
And we started an event almost 6 years ago called Banjee Ball. This is our second time at We Rise. We're very, very honored to be back. This is such an amazing exhibit and organization. So, Banjee Ball. Banjee Ball is a ballroom mini ball event. Raise your hand if you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say ballroom. Alright, raise your hand if you do know what I'm talking about when I say ballroom. Alright, have you ever heard of a movie called Paris is Burning? Alright, so if you have not, I highly recommend seeing that documentary. And there's a show that's happening right now, we're about to enter into season 2, called Pose. And Pose is sort of an artistic interpretation of the Paris is Burning era. And this next season is going to come up into, all I've heard is that it's right around when the Madonna Vogue song came out, so in 1991, right? So ballroom has been around for many, many, many decades. Its foundation is in the drag pageantry world in New York City. Now, back in the 50s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, drag artists were oftentimes trans women. It was not, at that time, trans existence wasn't very well defined, right? So drag was a way that a lot of trans women could express their true selves, right? So ballroom was founded by trans women. It was within drag pageantry, but I think it's important to delineate that it was trans women that started ballroom. And the reason that it started is that there were all these drag pageants happening in New York City, and there would be these gorgeous black queens from Harlem, and they would get shaded at every single ball because they were drenched in racism. So one night, Crystal LaBeija had it, and she said, "That's it, I'm starting my own balls." So they started doing their own balls in Harlem, went out into Brooklyn, Coney Island, and these balls started as drag pageants, but as the decades went along, they started adding more and more categories to be more inclusive and create more participation, right? So you got face and body, and then you got runway, right? So the girls would want to envision themselves as a fashion model, and they would walk a ball as if they were in a runway show, right? And out of runway, you're pumping down, and you hit a pose, and a pose. And the poses started stringing together into a dance form called Vogue, right? So the early form of Vogue is now called Old Way, very shape-oriented. From Old Way, it became into New Way, where you got a lot of stretch. Old Way, New Way is the kind of Vogue that you see in Paris is Burning, in the Madonna Vogue video, and then in the late 80s and early 90s, once again, trans women evolved the art form into Vogue Femme. And that's what you see in the Nike commercial now, that's what with Leonie, that's what you see on YouTube, that's what you see at the Met Gala this last week. At the Met, they had Vogue Femme. Right? That's Vogue Femme. So that, Vogue is like the most popular category out of ballroom, but it is not the only category. You also have realness. Realness spans, at a ball, realness will take forever because there's so many subcategories of realness. Schoolboy realness, butch queen realness, femme queen realness, executive realness. So many forms of expression. So, that is it wasn't so brief, but that is a little history of ballroom. And ballroom continues to flourish today. It's been a very critical subculture non-Latino LGBTQ community for many, many reasons. So when Crystal LaBeija started her scene, she also in 1968 founded the House of LaBeija, which was the first house, ballroom house, right? So these houses, in some ways you could look at them as sports teams, right? Because you compete together, you train together, you conceive your costumes together. But more than that, these houses are safe havens for LGBTQ kids who have been rejected by their family, are living on the streets, living in poverty, strung out on drugs, struggling because the outside world is so oppressive. And especially for Black LGBTQ, it is extremely oppressive. So Ballroom really ties in with the mental health theme of We Rise, because the house structure system is what created stability for decades for these kids. Like I just got goosebumps saying that. It's really an incredible thing to witness. Taking care of each other, watching out for each other, making sure they're eating, making sure a lot of times kids would join a house and they'd be 15. And the house mother would make sure that kid got their GED, right? Because their parents weren't looking out for them. And I'm saying past tense, it still happens today. So anyway, before we get started, I have someone here who I work with. He works for the Ahmad Institute, and they specifically work on mental health and social services for the LGBTQ Black and Latino community. He's going to be a judge on the panel, but I wanted to bring him up to sort of just talk a little bit more about mental health, since that's why we're all here, right? So, Gerald.
Thank you. How's everyone? Awesome. So thank you again, Ira. So, like I said, my name is Gerald Garth. I serve as director for an agency called the Ahmad Institute. Ahmad stands for Arming Minorities Against Addiction and Disease, and we're based in Watts, and we do programming around the LA County. We have a focus in mental and emotional health. We do substance use and abuse services. We also do housing services, as well as other essential services. So we do work around HIV testing, treatment, and prevention. We provide legal services and employment services, all through a uniquely LGBTQ experience, particularly for Black and Latinx communities. So we're based in South LA, and as you can imagine, there's a very unique intersection when you bring race, sexuality, and class. So that's just some of the things that we do, and you can find us at ahmad.org. But I want to just add a few words around kind of the mental health component of the house and ball and family experience. So like I was saying, a big part of addressing mental health is first addressing the essential needs. And so one thing that families and houses have been able to do is provide, like you said, that sense of community. A big part of why a lot of young Black and brown people have found themselves in less than desirable experiences is because of one, lack of access to resources. And so families provide education, guidance, direction, where a lot of folks might not have had that before. And one thing that's also very unique to consider when it comes to mental health is the stigma. There's still a lot of stigma around addressing mental health and understanding what treatment looks like. And so recognizing that working together and having accountability structures is very important. A lot of young LGBTQ youth find that through the houses and families. Even me myself was able to find my way through the house and ball community of New Orleans. And so recognizing too that this experience isn't just around a good time, it's around one, having a sense of community, finding one sense of identity, and also getting access to education, direction, and resources. So knowing that this is not just about having a good time, but this, for many people, many men and women, have been what's saved them. So if you need to, yes, there's So we're really excited tonight. We're expecting some great things. If you want to connect with me or our work, you can find me at, my name is Gerald, so Gerald at Ahmad, that's GERALD at amaad.org. We provide services and programming, even though designed for LGBTQ youth, we are not exclusive to those groups. So if you know anyone who might need to get connected to some support services, treatment options or just a healthy social experience where we can see the diverse representation of Black and brown people in all of our exceptional experiences, you can connect with us and again, have a great time.
Thank you so much, Gerald. And before we bring DJ up, also, you might be wondering, what is this white bitch doing up here talking about ballroom? Well, so like he said, he was in the ballroom scene in New Orleans. So it has become a national scene. Every, major city in America has a little ballroom scene, which when you're in a house, I'm in the House of Ebony, it's amazing. When you travel city to city to balls, you have a network there for you, right? But ballroom has gone international as well. So you can go on YouTube and Russia is tearing it up. I mean, they have a whole scene. There's a scene in Italy, there's a scene in Brazil, there's a big scene in Japan. Ballroom is very infectious. It was built, and it's important to maintain that it is about the Black and Latino LGBTQ community, but ballroom has embraced all people, which is so wonderful about it, is that it has become a creative space for so many people. As long as we keep the focus, that's important. All right, so the MC for the evening is someone very near and dear to my heart. He has been commentating, that is what we call MCing in ballroom. He's been commentating for 13 years on the West Coast. And he's a very entertaining person. And his name he's legendary, which let me just add. So in ballroom, you get different statuses, right? When you're starting out and people are just finding out who you are, you're a star. When you start winning trophies and making a name for yourself, you become a statement. When you are fully established and have been in it for about a decade, you become legendary. Yes. But it doesn't stop there, because we have the next level in the house too. We have a couple. So once you've been legendary for a while and have continued to not just win trophies and walk balls and bring up new generations, but do community work, then you become an icon. And it doesn't stop there, because above icon is pioneer, and those are the people who helped found ballroom. And we actually have tonight on the judges panel the founder of the LA ballroom scene, so I'm very excited about that. All right, so please give a warm welcome for my brother, legendary Aniche Smith.